Nick Fleming RVGCR Intel Update. Bruce, the big call, via Wiser Now, we have information that we're getting from the highest up sources you can get in the banking world that was saying we should get our notifications for Tier 4B over the weekend. Tishwash, DNT, article, Parliament announces it will receive the government program from LCD by the end of this week. Quote, Parliament Speaker Hebad al-Halbasi confirmed on Monday, May 4, 2026, that the Parliament will receive the government program from Ali al-Zaidi, who is tasked with forming the new government, by the end of this week, while he indicated that the names of the ministerial cabinet will be put to a vote next week. Reset Intelligence. The Gazette is Iraq's mandatory channel for legal force. Laws, regulations and presidential decrees take effect on the date they are published, not before. Until a rate change appears in the Gazette, it is not law. Iran's president called Iraq's PM-designate and asked Baghdad to referee the meeting. Iran called Baghdad because Tehran can't reach Washington direct. The day Iran sanctions lift is the day the dinar repricing window opens. The deal that gets written this month decides whether IQD finally moves off 1,310. Jeff, historically Iraq has always been slightly above Kuwait. Today Kuwait's about $3.25. What brought the value of the currency down was sanctions. What happens when you take those sanctions off? If it reinstates, wouldn't it put it around the $3.22, which is where it devalued in 2003? Iraq's budget is waiting for the new government to be formed because it's waiting for the rate to change. That's where we're at in this right now. The cabinet map is the story today. A preliminary cabinet allocation map leaked to Shafak News shows. U.S. designated TT Qais al-Khazali is slated to receive the Labor Ministry, the Industry Ministry, and a Deputy Prime Minister position. Washington explicitly demanded al-Zaidi exclude militia-linked figures from cabinet and senior posts before resuming dollar shipments. If this allocation holds, it puts al-Zaidi on a direct collision course with Washington before Parliament even votes. If Khazali's Siddiqoon bloc gets a deputy PM slot in two ministries, Washington's no militiamen in cabinet red line is crossed, and dollar shipments stay frozen. Al-Zaidi has 72 hours to finalize his list. Question: what are the next major steps you are waiting for? The conditions that would theoretically support a significant dinar appreciation, diversified revenue streams, a stable and transparent banking sector, full dollar access, low inflation, strong foreign reserves, and a resolution of the militia problem. Frank 26, KTFA, the Gazette said some things I think they should not have said. IMSO, you know how we say we're close. No, we're there. We're not walking down the ladder of the lunar module. We're bouncing up and down on the moon. Franul, the CBI's official rate remaining around 1,320 IQD per USD, with budget guidance around 1,300. The IMF says Iraq's exchange rate arrangement is a conventional peg, and that the Central Bank of Iraq has authority over exchange rate policy. A bank rate sheet also shows $1 at 1,300 IQD and references 1,320 in the system, which is consistent with a managed official framework. Sandy Ingram, the Iraqi dinar is tightly controlled and set and managed by the Central Bank of Iraq, not by open forces like the Forex market. This is called a managed or pegged exchange rate. The CBI decides when or if the rate changes. Even during conflict, the rate can remain and has remained the same. Stephen, Dinar for Dummies, with all the news coming out, it is an exciting time to be invested in the Iraqi dinar. That is for certain. Mountain Goat, all these projects we read about from the El Sudani administration are still in progress and will deliver the benefit we all desire, but just not yet. We also have to cancel the Iranian influence in Iraq, and we can now see this too is in the making. I believe we are closer than ever for the dinar to get reinstated. But first things first. By now everyone should be fully aware of these events that caused delays in the currency reform process. The big question about the national debt was not that we were in debt $38 trillion, an unsustainable amount, but the more serious question was just who did we owe $38 trillion to? Since at least 1913 the deep state cabal has been confiscating our US taxpayer dollars, sending them over to the UK Crown of England, then on to the Vatican, then out to their central banks, and then back to a New York bank, where they charged us interest to use our own monies, thus running up the $38 trillion national debt. Back in the Nixon era we went off the gold standard and continued printing money, meaning there was nothing to back the US federal dollar up. By the 2008 so-called mortgage crisis, which was really a bankruptcy finalization for the deep state cabal, the cabal couldn't even pay interest on their loan of gold, which no longer existed anyway. So now they say the cabal's private corporation of U.S. Incorporated owes $38 trillion. Who owes the $38 trillion? The cabal. And who does the cabal owe the $38 trillion to? Themselves. Friday, May 8, 2026, warning, U.S. debt clock sounds the alarm. U.S. debt clock calls for gold-backed currency as $38 trillion bomb nears detonation, real money reset. With no one taking responsibility for anything, it's going to take a martial law takeover and global currency reset to figure this all out. But then, the U.S. has been operating under emergency military governance since 2021. Trump never left. He entered a higher command. Now with the final keys turned, the real republic is returning, and so is a gold-backed U.S. dollar. The global military alliance under direction of President Trump has spent years preparing for this announcement, quietly building a network of satellites and secure communication. Over it, President Trump will give 7 messages to the world about a new era of freedom about to begin. People are urged to stock up on food, cash and essentials for themselves and to help others during the worldwide lockdown that could last 10 to 12 days. The military will have food and essentials on hand for those who need it. On Sunday 10th of May through Monday, May 11, 2026, the Earth Alliance, in conjunction with Starlink and military satellites, will unleash the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, worldwide. Every cell phone on the planet will be hit with a loud, ear-piercing, unmistakable alert signal of 7 trumpets transmitting directly from Starlink satellites, that will bypass traditional media channels controlled by the elite. We will be alerted to tune into our TVs or radios. Then for 10 days there will be a complete information shutdown across the globe of mainstream media programming. The EBS will take over and air around the globe in 22 different languages, 8-hour videos, replaying 3 times a day for 10 days, on the truth about thousands of treasonous Satan-worshipping deep state global elites around the world, their crimes, arrests, trials and sentences. The age of deception has collapsed. The age of sovereignty has risen. Welcome to the other side of the storm. A new republic will host a better economy, plus improved legal, health, political, and education systems. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know and now am supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies Hollywood style and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. Friday, May 8, 2026, Biden is a pedophile, Obama is gay, Michelle is a dude, the elites drink baby's blood, the food we eat is poisoned on purpose, the COVID vax was meant to depopulate the world, the 2020 election was stolen, Hillary had JFK Jr. assassinated. U.S. taxpayers pay the CIA to torture and murder children. The Vatican, along with Zionists, runs a massive international child sex trafficking ring that blackmails politicians to do their bidding. Trump is working to bring it all down and people say nothing is happening. Friday, May 8, 2026, boom. The world of clones, body doubles, clones or masks. You decide. Friday, May 8, 2026, there was proof that Queen Elizabeth was hanged at Gitmo in 2019. Friday, May 8, 2026, Fox News, uncovered audio shows Anthony Fauci talking about having every major corporation require vaccinations and making it as hard as possible on citizens so they're forced to be vaccinated. He says if you make it hard enough on people, they'll abandon their beliefs. Possible timing. On Friday, May 8, 2026 at 5:05 EST, the White House triggered the final phase. As of 1 p.m. EST, the EBS was overriding all mainstream narratives and the quantum financial system was fully synchronized with GCR protocols. Final confirmation codes were transmitted through the QFS lattice. BRICS fully activated gold-backed QFS in 209 nations. Trump controls sovereign treasury. Fiat collapses. On Saturday, May 9, 2026, 48-hour prep for GCR wealth drop. Stock up as banks transition. On Monday, May 11, 2026, Starlink EBS starts 10 days darkness exposing cabal crimes and medbed suppression. Martial law and pedophile arrests worldwide. On Wednesday, May 13, 2026, Zim Redemptions fund medbed centers. Initial hubs online for humanitarian cases. On Friday, May 15, 2026, the new gold-backed quantum financial ledger goes live. Widespread medbeds access begins in Republic hubs, free for citizens. On Tuesday, May 19, 2026, Global expansion of med beds ends Big Pharma era. On Saturday, May 23, 2026, Trump unveils full QFS rebirth as healed population thrives. See medbed rollout. On Friday, May 8, 2026, White Hat insiders and Trump's global military alliance released the accelerated medbeds rollout schedule as the global currency reset fully ignites the gold-backed quantum financial system in 209 nations. GCR/NISR laws destroy the last cabal medical tyranny and big pharma empires. Trump personally commands the QFS integration with advanced healing beds to restore humanity's divine blueprint. Deep state pharma is collapsing as suppressed Tesla technologies flood into the light. The storm is here and medbeds prove Q was right. On Friday, May 8, 2026, medbeds activate in secure bases treating vax-injured patriots and veterans first. Trump directs instant regeneration, cancer cures and DNA repair. Pharma cartels melt down as their depopulation plans are exposed. On Saturday, May 9, 2026, Debt Jubilee hits with medbed demos. GCR funds build free healing centers worldwide. Zim redemptions fuel QFS humanitarian projects. Vax damage reverses rapidly, the cabal's poison agenda ends. On Sunday, May 10, 2026, medbeds fully sync with QFS ahead of global blackout. EBS prepares to expose medical tyranny and hidden tech. Starlink locks down transmissions while martial law protects the transition and pedophile elites face tribunals. On Monday, May 11, 2026, public medbed centers activate in alliance territories. Every veteran and patriot gains access. Quantum healing regenerates cells and restores perfect health as the deep state narrative collapses. On Tuesday, May 12, 2026, worldwide expansion accelerates with GCR funds. Debt forgiveness frees millions. No more medical bankruptcies. White Hats arrest final cabal holdouts as families heal in abundance. On Wednesday, May 13, 2026, 10 Days Darkness begins with EBS Truth broadcasts. Medbeds treat mass vax injuries and trafficking survivors. DNA resets launch the golden age promised by Q and the Alliance. On Thursday, May 14, 2026, live global streams show real-time medbed miracles. Old systems collapse as QFS surges. Free access expands rapidly. Patriots' sacrifices bear fruit in a healed world. On Friday, May 15, 2026, planetary medbed coverage complete. Trump declares the death of Big Pharma and birth of quantum freedom. Rescued children and seniors regenerate. WWG1G, the best is yet to come. EBS, blackout, martial law, lockdowns, people are urged to stock up on food, cash and essentials for themselves and to help others during a worldwide lockdown that could last 10 to 12 days. The military will have food and essentials on hand for those who need it. On Sunday 10th of May through Monday, May 11, 2026, the Earth Alliance, in conjunction with Starlink and military satellites, will unleash the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, worldwide. Every cell phone on the planet will be hit with a loud, ear-piercing unmistakable alert signal of 7 trumpets transmitting directly from Starlink satellites, bypassing traditional media channels that are controlled by the elite. We will be alerted to tune into our TVs or radios. For 10 days there will be a complete information shutdown across the globe of mainstream media programming. The EBS will take over and air around the globe in 22 different languages. 8-hour videos, replaying 3 times a day for 10 days, about the truth about thousands of treasonous Satan-worshipping deep state global elites around the world, their crimes, arrests, trials and carry out of sentences. During this time banks will be closed and ATMs will not work, so they will be changed over to a new gold-backed financial system at the end of the 10 days. Our phones will only work for 911, though we can obtain an encrypted signal app from the military to allow phones to work over the new Starlink system. Our internet will not work during those 10 days, after which we will be connected to a new faster and more efficient quantum internet by the end of the month. After the 10 days, everything will change. The old systems of government, education, finance, health, trade and commerce will all be dismantled and replaced for the better. It's the end of wars and financial and human enslavement and beginnings of peace, prosperity and freedom for all worldwide. Global currency reset, Thursday, May 7, 2026. Bruce, notification for Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, could come over the weekend with the toll-free number in an email. Likely either Moan or Twos for Tier 4B appointments to start. Friday, May 8, 2026. The Dallas-Fort Worth Redemption Center is now actively processing verified appointments and secure payouts throughout the day. A valid redemption access pass and confirmed appointment are required for entry. Walk-ins and unauthorized access will not be accepted, EBS Donald J. Trump on Telegram. On Sunday, May 10, 2026, Starlink will power the emergency broadcast system exposing cabal crimes, vaccine agendas, and medbed suppression. Martial law enables worldwide arrests of the guilty. On Monday, May 11, 2026, Tier 4B notifications arrive with new rates. On Friday, May 15, 2026, the new gold-backed quantum financial ledger goes live. Judy note, it is my opinion, and I very well could be wrong, that every citizen across the globe would receive, via text and email, a personal notification containing a code specific to the person, that could be used to set an appointment at a redemption center near where they lived. There, people would set up their own wallet, bank account, on the new Starlink satellite system. Present bank account balances have already been mirrored onto the new wallet accounts. If the person had foreign currency to exchange, or bonds to redeem, they could do it at the time of appointment. Wallets will already contain tariff dividends, monies reimbursed for improper loans and interest paid on mortgages, credit cards, etc., plus monies earned from use of birth certificates on the stock market. The general public was expected to begin their wallet setups after Thursday, July 4, 2026. Those holding foreign currencies and bonds to redeem and exchange were expected to begin those redemption center appointments the early part of next week. Those holding Trump Gold products were believed to be doing their redemption center appointments right now. Friday, May 8, 2026. Major developments are unfolding right now. Far from the spotlight, but with an impact that will soon be impossible to ignore. Tier 4B ISO 20022 on Telegram. Over the past 48 hours, select financial institutions connected to Tier 4B have begun receiving encrypted communications signaling operational readiness. Trusted sources inside international banks have confirmed that test transactions using the ISO 20022 protocol are already live in select corridors, quietly shifting large sums under the radar. Key personnel from Tier 4B groups have been asked to remain on standby, with instructions to be ready for immediate action. Secure channels are buzzing with updates, some have already seen notifications of pending liquidity releases. This is no longer speculation, the process has started. Meanwhile, several governments are holding emergency sessions behind closed doors, adjusting regulations to accommodate the new financial architecture. Insiders report that old systems are being quietly dismantled, and the first waves of asset revaluation are in motion. If you're reading this, understand, the reset isn't just coming, it's underway. The public will soon see the effects, but those paying attention are already witnessing history in real time. Stay informed and be prepared. The world as you know it is about to transform. Friday, May 8, 2026. The vault is emptying. They're not telling you this on the news. Mr. Poole Final Chapter, France, quietly, between July 2025 and January 2026. Pulled all 129 tons of gold out of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Every last bar. Gone. $15 billion. Back to Paris. France didn't repatriate for profit. They repatriated because they were told the old vault is closing. India, 104 tons. Repatriated. China, bought more gold in March 2026 than in over a year. Record purchases. Month after month. Germany, requested emergency repatriation in April. Not public yet. The Federal Reserve Vault in Manhattan, the one that held the world's gold for 80 years, is hemorrhaging. Fortune magazine, yesterday, different from anything in the past 80 years of dollar dominance. Apollo's CEO, yesterday, warned of a total geopolitical reset. MSN, yesterday, literally aired a segment called Claims of a Coming Financial System Reset. They're saying it out loud now. But they won't tell you why everyone is pulling their gold at the same time. Here's why: you don't leave your gold in a vault that's about to change management. Trump flies to Beijing May 14. Meets Xi. The summit isn't about tariffs. It's not about TikTok. It's about the Multilateral Settlement Protocol, the document that restructures how nations settle debt. BRICS already launched their system. Gold-backed. Dollar-independent. $245 trillion in yuan transactions through SIPs in 2025 alone. The infrastructure is built. The gold is moved. The players are seated. When every major nation pulls its gold from your vault at the same time, That's not diversification. That's an evacuation. May 14th, Trump signs in Beijing. May 15th, the new ledger goes live. The dollar isn't collapsing. It's being retired. And the gold? It's not going home. It's going to the new vault. The quantum one. I Save the Children, Friday, May 8, 2026, huge child trafficking crackdown. 28 workers from 5 cruise ships arrested, including Disney's Magic in San Diego, Ezra Cohen on Telegram. Med beds, J. Friday, May 8, 2026, the doctor's revelation, the cellular secret they hoped you'd never find, Neezer and Jazara Trump on Telegram. For decades, they told you chronic disease was a life sentence. They sold you pills to manage the pain, the fatigue, the decay. But leading functional medicine expert Dr. Mark Hyman has now confirmed the truth: it was all based on a lie. Dr. Hyman reveals that specific, bioactive light frequencies, 660 nanometers and 850 nanometers, are the key to reigniting these cellular engines. This isn't just red light therapy, this is the precise, targeted energy your cells are crying out for. This is the secret NASA has used for decades to keep astronauts at peak physical condition in the most hostile environment. What we think we know. As of Saturday, May 9, 2026, Friday, May 8, 2026, Gavin Newsom and Jennifer Newsom diverted fire aid money into their own nonprofit. Jennifer Newsom also personally pocketed over $4 million through California Volunteers, which was created by Gavin Newsom within the office of the First Partner, which is an office Gavin Newsom also created. Now we are finding out that Gavin's wife has personally netted over $4 million through this nebulous organization. Cal Volunteers, a weird NPO that Gavin simply made up for her within the office of the First Partner, but nobody can fully explain what they actually do. Well, now it's a pretty California thing for rich dudes to make up fake businesses that burn money so their wives can stay busy and keep distracted from their affairs. It's time to investigate and arrest Gavin Newsom. How much evidence do we need? Why is he so untouchable? They're stealing millions. Just so we're clear, this is two separate organizations. Fire aid money was sent to California Volunteers Fund, which is NGO Newsom's wife is involved in, and California Volunteers, which is a government agency under the office of the governor. We are being robbed blind by these criminals. Friday, May 8, 2026, explosive report. Fauci's 2017 surprise outbreak prediction about the Trump administration resurfaces. Viral video reignites national debate. Friday, May 8, 2026, breaking, explosive report, Venezuela list explodes, Maduro links 60 U.S. senators to multi-million bribe allegations, full list in documents. Friday, May 8, 2026, bombshell, new claims from Malik Obama reignite birth certificate scandal, Kenyan origins document surfaces, globalist cover-up back in the spotlight. Med beds, Friday, May 8, 2026, a military logistics officer just leaked the deployment schedule for medical frequency devices to 3,200 hospitals across the United States. The rollout begins in 90 days, medbed activation. The document is 47 pages. Classified FUO, for official use only. It was photographed page by page inside a logistics coordination office at Fort Liberty, North Carolina, and uploaded to a decentralized server 6 days ago. The title: Project Restoration, Phase 1 Civilian Medical Infrastructure Integration. The document outlines a phased deployment of bioelectric frequency therapy systems to civilian hospitals beginning Q4 2026. The devices are described as multi-spectrum electromagnetic resonance platforms capable of cellular regeneration, inflammation neutralization, and autonomous tissue repair. They are calling them regenerative therapy systems. The document never uses the word medbed, but the specifications match exactly what has been described for years. Phase 1, 3,200 hospitals in 50 states. Priority given to VA hospitals and trauma centers. Phase 2, 12,000 outpatient clinics. Timeline: Q1 2027. Phase 3, home unit distribution program for chronic illness patients. Timeline: Q2 2027. The logistics breakdown shows that 840 units have already been manufactured and are currently stored at 3 military installations. The production contract was awarded to a company that does not appear in any public corporate registry, only a CAGE code and a Delaware LLC filing from 2024. Training protocols for hospital staff are already written. 14,000 nurses and 6,200 physicians are scheduled for certification in a program that does not yet officially exist. The document references Executive Order 14,263, the same order that declassifies suppressed medical patents, as the legal framework enabling civilian deployment. The pharmaceutical industry spends $374 million per year lobbying Congress. They have blocked every frequency-based therapy from FDA approval for 80 years. But this deployment does not go through the FDA. It is classified as a military-to-civilian technology transfer under the Defense Production Act. They cannot lobby against what they cannot see. And by the time it becomes public, the devices will already be installed. The officer who leaked the document has not been identified. The server hosting the files has been mirrored 19 times across 7 countries. The document cannot be deleted. 90 days. 3,200 hospitals. The technology they told you did not exist is already built, already stored, and already scheduled. You were not crazy. You were early. Friday, May 8, 2026. Go to your kitchen. Turn on the tap. The water coming out of that faucet contains a chemical that was classified as an industrial toxic waste before they put it in your drinking supply. Medbed activation on Telegram. The chemical is called hydrofluorosilicic acid. It is not pharmaceutical-grade fluoride. It is a byproduct scraped from the pollution control systems of phosphate fertilizer factories. Before 1945, this substance was disposed of as hazardous waste. Factories paid thousands of dollars to get rid of it. Then someone realized they could sell it to cities and pump it directly into the water supply. In August 2024, a U.S. federal court ruled for the first time in history that water fluoridation at current levels poses an unreasonable risk of reducing IQ in children. Judge Edward Chen cited over 70 human studies linking fluoride exposure to neurotoxicity. The case was TSCA Trial 4:17 CV02162. It is public record. Harvard University published a meta-analysis in Environmental Health Perspectives reviewing 27 studies across 4 countries. Children in high fluoride areas had IQ scores 7 points lower on average than children in low fluoride areas. 7 points is the difference between average and below average. The countries that fluoridate their water: the United States, Australia, Ireland, and a handful of others. The countries that banned it: Germany, France, Japan, Sweden, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and 97% of Western Europe. They did not ban it because it was expensive. They banned it because they read the science. Your kidneys can only eliminate 50% of the fluoride you ingest. The rest accumulates in your bones, your pineal gland, and your thyroid. By age 50, your pineal gland, the part of your brain that produces melatonin and regulates your sleep, is calcified with more fluoride per gram than any other tissue in your body. The fluoride industry is worth $500 million per year. The companies selling it to your city are the same fertilizer corporations that would otherwise pay to dispose of it as toxic waste. They turned an expense into a revenue stream. And they used your body as the disposal site. Get a reverse osmosis filter. It costs $150. It removes 95% of fluoride. Your tap water was never meant to be medicine. And you never consented to the dose. Friday, May 8, 2026. The note. Yesterday a judge unsealed Epstein's suicide note, Mr. Poole, final chapter on Telegram, hidden for 6 years inside a graphic novel in his cell. Found by his cellmate. Sealed by the court. Until now. It is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. Read that again. Slowly. A man facing life in prison, surrounded by the most powerful surveillance system on Earth, writes a goodbye letter, hides it in a comic book, and nobody finds it for 6 years. No. That note wasn't written by him. It was written for him. What they don't want you to ask: why release it now? 3.5 million pages already out. Names exposed. Lutnick dragged before Congress this week. Gates. Musk. Tisch. All in the files. But the real list, the one with the operations, the accounts, the island logistics, is still sealed. They released the note to close the story. To make you believe it's over. That he's gone. He's not gone. August 10, 2019. Camera malfunction. 2 guards asleep. Body removed in 14 minutes. No independent autopsy. Hyoid bone broken, consistent with strangulation, not hanging. The note is the script they gave him before extraction. Ask yourself, why is Trump pushing to release everything? UFO files. JFK now Epstein. Because he knows where the body isn't. The real list drops before June. The names on it will end careers, collapse foundations, and trigger extradition orders across 7 countries. They gave you the note to make you stop looking. Don't stop.